Hey guys, Liam here from Fortunately Skillful on YouTube, and welcome back to part 4 of our Orcs Must Die guide. This is the tutorial for the map, the Baths, and as you can see in the video, I'm using my pretty standard setup of barricades, tar pit, wall spikes, the catapult trap, brimstone, grinder, archer, and in this case the swinging mace, but I don't believe I actually use that this time around because I don't need to.
Sometimes I almost feel bad for the orcs. Except not really.
This is a pretty standard setup that you'll see me use on most, if not all, of the different maps that I do, because it allows you to funnel them through a single point, and then you can then defend that single point very heavily, because in this case they're coming through a hole that's 1 square wide, and I can, because at the moment I don't have any money, I can simply set the acid bomb at the door, and then when they all pile up and they start to come in, as you saw there, I get a 10 multi-kill.
Good times.
It's a very effective strategy, I find anyway. Not a lot of people I've seen use the acid bomb, probably because you get less points when you actually detonate it than you would if you were to shoot them in the head, for example. But that's the standard setup: 2 barricades, tar, and grinder. The brimstone at the front is to damage them, to damage everyone that comes through, because obviously the grinder isn't always going to be on, it has to reset, so that when the grinder's resetting, it's still going to damage them and then slow them down so you can attack them, which means that regardless of the grinder being in function or not, you're still going to be able to keep yourself safe. Now, at this stage in the game, because there isn't really any special mobs like the no hunters or any really large threat from ogres at this point either, this is a very, very good setup, because the only thing you really need to worry about are the arrow orcs, the archers, because they damage the barricades and can obviously attack you from afar, so that will hurt you more in the long run. As you saw there, that one from the back of the map just missed me. Now, I would recommend simply standing as I am now in the middle behind the barricades and just pretty much scoping out the orcs, because you will get a lot more points if you headshot them and build up a combo, and or if there's a huge group of them, just drop an acid bomb in the midst and get a huge multi-kill if you're trying to go for the Steam achievements. That was a pretty fail acid bomb there, but generally if you can set them right outside the entrance, they'll just walk through it, they don't know what's going on. And they are orcs, they're not geniuses, but still pretty funny nonetheless. I mean, look at that, 9 multi-kill, 10, and then they're stupid enough to run through the trap even though they know they're going to die, obviously. It's just a game. I'm doing this in post-commentary in case you haven't noticed, because I decided that because I like to click spam a lot, it would pretty much deafen you guys if I was recording, you know, while I was playing the game, because you would hear me pretty much just going like this the whole time, which wouldn't be very good for you, and definitely wouldn't be very good for me, because it shows I didn't put as much effort in. But who cares? This, although I do go a bit iffy at the end, this will guarantee you 5 skulls, and as usual I wouldn't recommend going for 5 skulls until you have at least completed the game and have a few of the upgrades, a few of the items upgraded. My apologies. Tar pits especially, because you really need to slow the orcs down, because the longer you can slow them, the more chance you have of shooting them in the face, burning them, or blowing them to pieces, all of which are amazing fun. But pardon me, sorry, I've got the hiccups. If you can control them, as I'm doing here, funneling them, slowing them, and offering them a very painful death, then you're guaranteed to get 5 skulls every time. Obviously when it gets to the more complicated levels, where you have different enemy types and more than one entrance, this setup won't always work, because you have to have different things in place to prevent the other enemies from seriously seriously messing up your day. For example, the Gnoll Hunters that you'll face later on, extremely fast sprinters, they run through most traps, and you really need to be able to deal with that, because they will come up from nowhere, and I've been killed a couple of times because I wasn't paying attention and didn't expect them to be able to get through the defences, because this setup that you see here is meant for the Orcs, because they're slower. You know, you can see exactly where they are and you know how fast they're going to get to you. But the Gnoll Hunters, you don't do that. You don't have that luxury, because they can sprint much faster and they have a lot higher health. So they're not guaranteed to die by coming through the dual brimstone and then the 2 grinders. Obviously, I would recommend the use of weavers as well. You don't actually have them unlocked at this point in the story, but as I said, if you finish the game and then come back, I would recommend the use of weavers. It isn't necessary, as I show you in this video. I mean, I get the 5 skills anyway, but this was more of an improvised strategy because I hadn't planned it out properly. But then again, there's not really much need this early on in the game, because the maps aren't as complex, so the strategies aren't as complex. Makes things easier for you guys trying to get the Master War Mage achievement on Steam, and I think it's called something similar or the exact same on the Xbox 360. Of course, I am playing on PC. I much prefer it on PC, but there we go. I'm starting up with like more PC gamers are still much better than whatever else. Rendering these in the new Beast game in PC, instead of an hour and a half for a 10-minute video, it takes probably about 11 minutes, which is a lot better than the crap I had to put up with. And that's us again, guys. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the halls. I've just said it wrong, haven't I? The baths on Orcs Must Die 1. Come back next time for more. Peace out, guys. Hope you enjoyed.